relationships where you have the Sermon on the Mount,
Right.
And how we should treat one another. Do unto your neighbor as you'd have them do unto yourself. I surely wouldn't want you wanting you slapping me around. I wouldn't appreciate it, and you wouldn't want that either. But to have someone who claims to be a prophet of God actually giving advice that would violate all the things that were taught to us by the Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
and the prophets.
what happened about living a life of love and God's love and loving others as yourself? Right. It's like you got to start with loving your wives and your relatives as yourself.
And this all relates back to what I was saying at the beginning of the show about truth. Mm-hmm. Are we learning anything about the truth of a religion based on the way so-called prophets live their lives and what they teach in the name of God? Mm-hmm. Are we learning anything about that from these examples? And that's part of what we're trying to answer for the viewing audience.
All right, well, we'll see another one. Another wife, seventh on our list, or actually seventh on Ali Dashi's list, is Jurariya bint Harith, and she was a captive. And Sahih Muslim 2, 2349, page 520, says that Muhammad attacked the Bani Mustalik tribe without warning, and it's like giving an excuse as to what they were doing wrong, while they were heedlessly grazing their cattle. All right, so without paying attention to having a strong defense, they made the mistake of heedlessly grazing the cattle when Muslims were around.
So in other words, they were minding their own business, doing their cattle tending, and Muhammad and his troops attacked them unawares and took them over.
Yeah, they should have been heedlessly.
I guess they should have been, guarding and getting ready for an attack, but they were minding their own business, and Muhammad just attacked them.
Right. So anyway, Jurariya was a daughter of the chief. She was captured in a raid, and then Muhammad married her. So it's nice that he takes care of her. But
good Christian ethics there.
Yeah, if you just hadn't attacked him in the first place,
right.
They weren't trying to attack Muhammad; they were just grazing their cattle. But anyway, the next wife, Habiba, she's the daughter of Abu Sufyan. Now, Abu Sufyan, he was kind of the main general in the Meccan army. She was 23 years younger than Muhammad, according to Sunan Nasai, Volume 1, number 60, page 127. Later, Abu Sufyan became a Muslim. This is after Mecca was conquered, and kind of one wonders about the sincerity of his conversion. Anyway, the next one is really interesting. Her name is Safiya bint Huyai. Now, she was a captive Muhammad married after slaughtering her husband and the hundreds of men at Khaybar, according to Bukhari 268 and 143 and 280.
So now you have another example of another woman who, in this case, her husband's killed by Muhammad, and her tribes, basically all the men in her tribe, were wiped out by Muhammad's orders, and then he takes her, and then he's already killed the father of another one, and taken her over. So we're really getting an example here of the prophet on how to get a wife.
Yeah. Just
go out and kill the fathers and the husbands.
So anyway, I kind of take exception to the fact that some modernist Muslims say, well, except for Aisha, Muhammad primarily married, people for alliances and married widows. Well, yeah, it sounds nicely married a widow until you realize that he made her a widow the day before by killing her husband.
Yeah, he's making him widows, and he takes them over. So I seem to recall that there was a commandment in the Ten Commandments that says, "Thou shalt not kill." And actually, the Hebrew word there is mur for murder. Thou shalt not murder. And it sounds to me like he's doing a lot of that to get what he wants, because Allah is trying to help him get what he wants, according to what Aisha said.
He beheaded the men at Khaybar after they surrendered because they didn't help him in the battle. Well, it was a long story, but the Banu Qurayza, they didn't help the Battle of the Ditch, and supposedly he attacked them because supposedly they were massing to attack him, though there's not evidence of that. So he didn't fight them just to get Safiya, but after he fought them, he renamed her Safiya, because Safi was the first share of the booty, which went to Muhammad. So she was actually booty for Muhammad.
War booty. In fact, we cover a lot of this in another video we've already done on Islamic holy war, jihad. Mm-hmm. That's something we've got a lot more detail on in a different video.
So anyway, and she was booty according to Abu Dawud 2, 2988, page 848, and 2, 2985 to 2989, and the footnote 2406. That's all on page 846 to 849. And she was purchased by Muhammad for 7 slaves, according to Ibn Majah 3, 2272, page 357. Now, Muhammad felt, I guess, some kindness towards Safiya. He said, if Safiya were not grieved, I would have left him, meaning her husband, whom Muhammad executed, until the birds and beasts of prey would have eaten him, and he would have been resurrected from their bellies. This is according to Abu Dawud 2, 3130, 3131, page 893. So, so Muhammad was kind to Sophia after he married her by cutting down her former husband after he'd been killed and burying him so he wouldn't have been eaten by the animals.
It was a mighty nice thing of him to do for her husband.
Yeah. Anyway, physically, Sophia was short. Just to kind of say the physical characteristics, in Abu Dawud 3, 4857, 1359, there was some discord between wives. Zainab didn't want to loan a camel to Sophia when Muhammad asked Zainab to do so. Zainab called Sophia a Jewess, which was almost like a dirty word to say you're Jewish. And she was Jewish because there was a tribe of Jewish people. This is according to Abu Dawud 3, 4588, page 1293. And she's mentioned in various places. There's another person, wife of Muhammad, Safiya bint Abi Ubaid, and this is in Bukhari 4244, page 151. However, this Safiya is probably the same person. We're not certain, but a man could have more than one name, like a name and a nickname, and so it's probably the same, though we're not certain about that. Okay.
Right.
Well, the next wife is named Mamunah bint Harith. And she's mentioned in Sahih Muslim, among other places. And he married her in 7 AH while he was in ritual purity on a journey to Mecca, in Al-Tabari, Volume 8, 136. Now, she was older than some of the other wives. She was 30 years old when Muhammad married her, and he died like 4 years later, according to Sunan Nasai, Volume 1, number 43, page 120. Now, Mamunah screened Muhammad in Bukhari 1, 279, page 171. Now, people were screened when they bathed or went to the bathroom, and of course nothing was wrong with that because she was his wife. Mamunah had a freed slave girl. The slave was given a sheep in Ibn Majah 53610, page 93. Now, the next one isn't mentioned very frequently. There's Fatima, who's mentioned by Ali Dashti, and initially you might think, well, maybe did he confuse this with Fatima, Muhammad's daughter, through Khadijah? Well, actually, no, because Al-Tabari, Volume 9, page 39, states that Muhammad briefly married Fatima bint al-Dahak bint Sufyan, who was also called al-Kalabiyah. So he also married another Fatima with another surname, and it could be the same Fatima. He married Fatima bint Suryas or Sarah in Al-Tabari, Volume 9, page 139. And it's unclear if Surya and Al-Dahak were the same people or two people. But anyway, there's at least one Fatima that he married briefly. Now, Fatima, Muhammad's daughter again. So when the hadiths talk about Fatima, it's not always unclear who they're speaking about. Fatima screened Muhammad while he was bathing in Bukhari 1, 278, page 171-71. However,